Radio Free Skaro! Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 951. I'm Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
Once again, second week in a row, happy Magna Carta Day.
Yay! Trolling. You gotta love it.
As we do our part two of our King's Demons commentary, which takes place on the only day that Magna Carta Day is, March the 4th.
Like, I just have to get out my flare gun, so I just fire it off for all the pendants. All two of them that contacted us. Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. We were so excited about March the 4th appearing, and I just drew a straight line from King's Demons to Magna Carta. The Magna Carta Day is actually June the 15th. We know this now.
None of us, somebody told us, you all have computers. You're right. We do, and we didn't look.
I literally Googled this the second that we stopped recording, once we had all parted ways, and I was thinking, when is Magna Carta Day? And I Googled, it's June 15th. So I did, if anybody reads the show notes, I did note in there, yes, we know it's June 15th.
To be fair, we didn't during the show itself.
We didn't, but the show itself, we've completely failed. So
let's end it. Cancel. This is the last one.
That's true. The King John rode to London to take the Crusaders' oath on March the 4th.
Well, we didn't. Let's not pretend like we knew that.
Well, if we had watched the King's Demons and paid attention, Warren, we would have known.
Well, there's
that.
your problem, paying attention to the King's Demons.
Well, that's true.
As you'll see in the commentary later on.
As you see. Yeah, that's true. Part two of that is happening. I want to point out a couple things. We'll get to it. There's lots of things to talk about that are somewhat related to Doctor Who. We'll get to it just because it's timely. Today, I know we stopped doing the time lapse a while ago, but today actually is the 40th anniversary of part two as we record this. But this whole week is part two, 40th anniversary of the Caves of Androzani.
Yes.
Yeah, I see John Williams is watching it on John Williams X of Tachyon TV is watching it concurrently on Facebook. He said,
"Why wouldn't you?"
So, right? I know I haven't done that, but so that's okay. If it was nominated for an Oscar, I would vote for it, but it's not. But the Oscars are tomorrow night.
You are not an Oscar Academy member, so you would not vote for it.
That's true. I guess I'm not. Warren, are you the only one of the three of us who are probably going to watch the Oscars? I might dive in. I don't know.
I will. Yeah. I will watch it. I love the movies. There's a lot of things about the movies I don't like, and I sure couldn't care less about the music. So unless it's a score. So so when the musical numbers come up, it's time to mute, and then wait for the commercials, and then get back. I used to be a voracious watcher of the Oscars, but I have not watched it in several years.
But Ryan Gosling's going to sing.
I don't care. And I liked Barbie, but I don't care.
Yeah. I might tune in because I've actually seen a couple of the movies, even though I was bitterly disappointed. 4? Yeah. Goodness me. That's
Barbie,
impressive.
Oppenheimer, American Fiction, which is very good, and Poor Things, which is also pretty good, although very strange.
It looks very... I saw clips of that on the BAFTAs, hosted by David Tennant. There's a Doctor Who tie-in. And I'm thinking, every clip was like from a different, weirder part of the movie. I'm thinking, I would hate that movie. I'm not going to watch that. So I did
You would
not
have hated it, yes.
Yeah, I don't.
And it's kind of our friend of the show, Sarah, told me, you're either going to love it or hate it within the first 15 minutes. And that'll determine if you stick with it. And I didn't hate it in 15 minutes, although I was like, this is definitely wearing whatever the hell it's wearing on its sleeve.
Yeah.
But then it was decent. From there.
Well, here's the sad thing. I was really looking forward to Oppenheimer, and I realized 15 minutes into that I was hating it, and it was another 3 hours of watching it. So,
but that's just pig-mindedness on your part. You don't have to watch. You can just turn it off.
No, I wanted to watch it. I thought it's going to get better. It's going to get better. I'm going to like it. I mean, it's a lot of people love it. I'm the outlier on this
I liked
one, but
it,
I just
thought.
It was just a lot of movie. Just a lot of movie. I didn't like that. I did not like how much it was.
Well, it didn't involve a multiverse.
No, it's
that
true.
we know of.
That we know of.
Except for the Barbie multiverse, I guess.
Yeah. Chris, you're not watching the Oscars. I mean, it's not Eurovision, so I don't expect you to watch a live thing like
the
that.
Melfest final is today. Hooray.
Yeah. Oh, today as we record this on Saturday, March the 9th.
Saturday the 9th of March.
Now that's a multiverse I don't care about.
Yeah, which of course, as we determined, is Magna Carta Day. So happy Magna Carta Day for March the 9th, everyone celebrating.
Melody Festival and the Swedish selection for Eurovision is
I believe that's Swedish Magna Carta.
6-week process.
Well, oh my God, that's like a test match. I don't understand that. What does that mean? Why does it take so long?
Because Sweden is one of the stalwarts of Eurovision, having won it tied for the most times.
Okay.
But they just have a lot of interest, so they get hundreds of submissions.
Wow.
So they run whatever, they shortlist things, but run it over 5 semifinals and then to the final.
I think what they should do to save time is have the first couple rounds play out simultaneously. And so there'll be like 10 musical acts and they all play their songs at the exact same time. And then you just have to like determine which one out of the cacophony. I think that one. I think that's the one I want.
Sure.
And then
it's like a disaster area concert.
Just like a disaster area concert. Yes, you have to sit inside a shelter on a bunker on a different planet to be able to withstand the noise.
And then you spend a year dead for tax reasons.
That's true. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. This ties into our very first thing today because, March the 8th, of course, is International Women's Day, and Rachel Talalay did a great article in the Radio Times about how Doctor Who's female directors have defied the odds, mentioning how several of the most notable episodes in Modern Who have been directed by women, her included, of course. Hetty McDonald did Blink. Alice Troughton's another one, and there's been a whole host of women directors on Doctor Who in the past few years, including 2 that we talked about last week that are working on season 2, which is pretty cool. But and this is a super rare thing that we have to mention it. But last night in town, March 8th, here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, the Metro Cinema at the Garneau Theatre, not 5 minutes that way, as I point.
Yeah, up near the rafters of the new TARDIS set.
In the new TARDIS set here. There's a screening double feature of Tank Girl and Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare, both of which were directed by Rachel Talalay. And we went, and Rachel Talalay was there to watch the show with us and introduce it, and there was a Q&A after and everything, and so it was pretty cool to have Doctor Who directing royalty in Edmonton. Did
you
rarity.
Do both shows?
We did both shows. I had never seen either of them before.
I would believe that.
I've seen them both in the theater when they came out.
Did you really? Wow. Yeah. Well, I'm not a horror fan. But, yeah. You know what though? I mean, Tank Girl is it's bonkers. It's a bonkers crazy. But fun movie.
It's got a Devo in the soundtrack. That's good enough for me.
Right?
And at the time, that was a weird thing. Devo didn't have the renaissance that it later had. It was like still that weird nerd band nobody liked.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's before Mother's Boss started doing soundtracks and whatnot.
Around the same time, yeah.
Around that time.
As a worker in the Teletoon salt mines, I remember seeing Mark Mothersbaugh at the soundtrack to, wait for it, Santo Baguito. And I'm like, that's Mark Mothersbaugh. And all my fellow MCOs, as Stephen could attest to, not the most culturally literate bunch. Let's just put it that way. So they're like, yeah, whatever, shut up.
Right. That was a lot of fun. And the fun thing is that like it's a crazy movie. But looking at like some of the shots and camera angles and editing choices, like that's a Talalay film. I can tell.
Yeah.
And then like I'm not a horror fan, so I've never seen any of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, which is producer and line producer on the first 5. And she directed, her first directing job was 6,
which was 3D, I believe.
It was the last night's screening was not in 3D, but the last 10 minutes of it were roughly. But there are moments there, like there's spoilers for Freddy's Dead, The Final Nightmare. But there's a shot when Tracy, the girl in it, is sort of confronting her dead dad, in her dream. And her dad's like on his knees and stuff, and all of a sudden, like Freddy's right-handed, the garden claw glove comes out. And the camera sort of pans up here, past away from the dad, and like cuts back, and it's Freddy there, all in camera, and I'm thinking this is the exact
Cyberman
technique
thing,
she uses with the Cybermen in the Dr. Falls. So all those things that she does, like I could see direct lines from what she did in the early to mid 90s all the way to her Doctor Who career. It was fascinating to watch purely as a film buff.
Did you stand up and point and yell and like do the DiCaprio thing? Everyone, you need to stop the film right now so I can explain this to you in great detail.
No, I didn't.
Shut up,
Talalay.
Because I don't need you to explain. I need to explain.
Yes, excuse me. I know it's International Women's Day, but a man is speaking about a thing I noticed on the film. Stop the projector. That is not what I did, Warren.
I know.
It's not what I did. No, but it was an entertaining night out. So it's cool. It's cool to see a lot of love for Tank Girl in the room too. There's a huge line that Rachel Talalay was like signing autographs and stuff in between the two films and stuff, and there's just massive line of people to get it sold out. Yeah, a lot of people love that movie. Tank Girl.
Yeah, and also, when the hell are you ever going to see Rachel Talalay around these parts again?
True,
right?
So take the chance.
Damn right. So there we go. That was fun. That was a fun thing, and it's a great article in the Radio Times that you can read. Links in the show notes. Radio Times is responsible for most of our show notes. This week, the last week was the Celestial Toymaker BFI screening, and there's an article in the Radio Times about Mark Ayres defending the experimental, quote unquote, Celestial Toymaker animation, which it's been called very experimental, and it certainly is. I've only seen the 30-second trailer of it, of course, but
my take is, why not try new stuff? What the hell?
Especially with this story, right?
Yeah, exactly. This story is like, it lends itself to Looney Tunes nonsense, so not in terms of cartoon, but just crazy stuff. And so why not do it? Like, also, then if you don't like it, don't buy it. It's pretty simple, really. I
suppose so. I mean, it's a CG-based thing as opposed to like the sort of the animated Flash animation type of stuff that they've been using for the other ones. So that's what makes it different. But
this might be, and I know you hate talking about the volume, but it said it was motion capture, so it might be sort of like a game engine kind of thing,
right?
So, which is sort of in the same neighborhood as the volume, kind of, sort of.
Right.
So, but that might make it cheaper to do, and if it means you get more missing episodes and they look kind of weird, well,
Yeah. That's true.
Having said that, I haven't ordered this thing. I don't really care about the Celestial Toymaker to begin with. So.
No, I know you don't. No, I know.
Stephen, you have.
I have.
Of course, you have. You're a completionist.
I have. Yeah. I've even made a switching error. For those of you watching at home, I totally meant to remove the images from it, but I removed Warren for a brief second, and now he's appearing on the bottom of my screen.
Right.
There you go. There's some insider.
I am now
baseball.
The Celestial Toymaker. Actually, I think theoretically you are, because you're doing all the mumbo jumbo.
Yeah, it's true. I was Celestial Toymaker, not racist. And then you were the Doctor who was briefly without voice there, and
old and cranky, so that checks out.
I'll be Cyril.
Yeah.
Come on, Chris. It's a dream fulfilled.
It is indeed. Hey, speaking of AI, not really. The BBC put out a big press release saying that they are exploring generative AI to increase experimentation and improve Doctor Who promotion. This is word for word what was on the press release. I have to tell you about it because the press release is now gone. They took it down. Such was the backlash of the BBC talking about AI to generate stuff that their marketing team would then look over and then sift out that they've removed it.
This headline, if I'm on the marketing team and it says improve promotion, I'd be like, oh, really? Oh, you think it improves promotion for what I'm doing? Thank you for that. Thanks for that vote of confidence.
Yeah.
Can we just get this toaster to write these press releases then? How about that?
I would like an AI toaster, actually. That wouldn't be a bad idea.
No, you would spit out, I don't know, turkey sandwiches or something. It wouldn't spit out AI.
That's true.
Or somehow this toast would be racist. I don't know how, but it would be.
Mm-hmm. The link in the show notes at the bottom does talk about how the original press release was pulled, and they link to a Wayback Machine copy of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So the BBC very proud of their AI initiatives, I guess, so much so they had to pull a press release.
Yeah.
Well, and plenty of people cited City of Death, where Tom Baker, a.k.a. the Fourth Doctor, is crapping on generative AI, essentially.
That's right, yeah. Painting by computer, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, I love how this thing has industry terms that would make Warren cringe.
Oh yes, most industry
like
terms
what?
make me cringe.
Like what?
Yeah, do tell, Chris.
Business. Yeah, do
Yeah,
pick
do
out your
tell.
favorites there.
Their success will be measured by click rates, open rates, and post-impression conversion rates across each
That's
channel.
my soul sopping out of my mouth.
When you say that, it does feel like this was an internal memo that was somehow put out as a press release, you know? Like, this is all
Maybe.
insider.
Just the worst.
see.
As somebody who lives in the corporate world,
Yeah.
I see more than enough of this crap, and I don't need to see any more of it. And sullying my dear friend Doctor Who.
Dear old friend Dur Dot
Dur
Who.
Who. Good old Dur Who.
Dur Who. One bit of Big Finish note, Bernie Summerfield, The Eternity Club. It's a whole series, a whole box set. It's the bundle starts September 2024. This is the 25th anniversary of the character of Bernie Summerfield, I think, isn't it? Or something like that? Or is it even more? Because she's been in the books before that. I got that wrong too? Is it Magna Carta for her too? I don't know.
Just
It's
back
Bernie
away slowly.
Summerfield Magna Carta Day.
Yeah.
That I know for sure.
Okay, good.
Was it 20 or 20?
Oh no, because
It was one of the
there's
new
a big
adventures.
anniversary recently. I feel like
it was
Big
one of
Finish
the new
itself
adventures. So 30, 30?
Oh, it's probably 30.
25 or 30.
Magna Carta Day. Yeah. It's a lot anyway. Big Finish, are Big Finish in their 25th anniversary now? I feel like they haven't.
Let's just
started
steer
in
clear of any and all
99,
anniversaries. How about
99.
that? Although I do like how you're using Magna Carta Day as just a catch-all for any screw up we have.
It is. Yeah, absolutely. If you get it wrong, it's Magna Carta Day. It's fine. It's just,
Big Finish started, or well, maybe not started. Maybe the first Doctor Who release was 99, but they've been around since at least
Listen,
then.
you have a computer, Chris.
1992.
was Bernie
1992
Summerfield?
is when Love and War came out. So
There you go.
32nd anniversary. So it's-
Okay, all the anniversary time has gone on very quickly, and I
92
remember
was
the,
10 years ago, I'll have you know.
Yeah, I know. I remember the big thing about it being her 30th anniversary. So, but it's the 25th anniversary of Big Finish, or as I said, it is of course Magna Carta Day. So, happy Magna Carta Day!
I have a child giggling like mad whenever I see this.
all celebrate. Warren, hey,
Yes.
tell us.
Yes,
There's
sir.
a Kickstarter coming up. Tell us about a Kickstarter that you want to talk about.
Well, this isn't all that Doctor Who-ish, except for the fact, and this is a bit of a stretch, that I'm involved. But The Laundry Files is a book series by Charles Stross, the author, and it is best described, and this is very oversimplifying, but H.P. Lovecraft meets Yes Minister would be a good way to put it. Spycraft and Elder Gods and all the rest of it. There's a role-playing game that came out about 10 years ago, I think. They're coming out with this, Cubicle 7 is coming out with the second edition of it. Your trusty roving reporter here wrote a bunch of stuff for the source book. So when you read about the jobs you can do in the Laundry, which is the name of the agency, with an editorial flourish by a guy who looked over my stuff, I wrote a bunch of that. So there you go.
Nice.
So please contribute to this Kickstarter so I keep writing this kind of stuff.
So for these jobs, you made a laundry list?
Indeed, I did. I actually did. Anyway, I can't really show anything because I've signed a bunch of NDAs, but I did ask and they said, yeah, you can talk about this and please promote it. So I'm promoting it right here because, hey, I wrote for this damn thing.
Right. But the Kickstarter is not live yet, though.
No. And Cubicle 7 is also, if you want a Doctor Who connection, the people who put out the role-playing game for Doctor Who. So there's that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, there you are. Links to the show notes, then you can chip in whenever it goes live. It's just coming soon on the show notes. So there. Nice work, Warren. And, of course, none of that was written by AI, I'll wager.
No, it was absolutely not. I will never do such a thing. Disgusting.
Right.
If it's crap, it's all my crap.
Just by WF.
Yep, WF, which is even worse than AI, frankly.
WF. WP, Water and Power. I can now make that reference to.
Hey, you can.
Which I saw last night. So, what a soundtrack, by the way. That's a whole story in and of itself. The soundtrack.
Oh, it's a great
to Tank
soundtrack.
Girl.
Not just the demo, the rest of it's good too.
Yeah. Compiled by Courtney Love, I had discovered.
Nice. In the throes of addiction, presumably, at the time. Or maybe she's recovering. I don't know.
It's a pretty dicey time for poor Courtney Love.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I'm not making fun of her. She was in dire straits.
Back in the 90s when the soundtrack came out, I listened to that thing ad nauseum, just over and over.
Oh, I recognized it. I recognized some of the songs because it's from 1995. But like when the Portishead scene with Rhodes, and there was a great scene in this.
I'm old. I miss Portishead.
I do too, and they still can seem new to me, but they're 30 years old, Lauren.
I know.
30 years old. Love Portishead. And Army of Me, of course, I recognized right away, and that was around the same time. Yeah, Bjork with the famously sampled drums from "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin.
Oh dear God.
Who?
I know.
Never heard of him. Talentless hacks.
Middling band from the 1970s. Didn't even have a #1 hit. Why did we even talk about him?
Just so they can be in their 70s and date 20-year-olds. That's why.
No, they don't do that.
Not creepy at all.
No, they don't do that. They're not Leo DiCaprio. Come on.
Okay, sure.
Last bit of show notes before we get on to the King's Demon commentary and celebrating the real Magna Carta Day, which is March the 9th. Toby Haydoke has written a Pamela Salem obituary in The Guardian. Links in the show notes to read it. As always, Toby does a great job at these things, despite being the harbinger of death that he is, and that he is the go-to person for such things. But he does a great job at summing up the life and career of the wonderful Pamela Salem, who we lost recently. So there you go. Links in the show notes at that. So. All right, kids, without further ado, why don't you celebrate Magna Carta Day with us with our commentary, our classic series commentary for the King's Demons Part 2.
Are the microphones wired in?
All round the condenser, most merciful. We're looking forward to excellent duodecaphonic sound.
This is the moment when I get a real feeling of job satisfaction.
It's time once again for our classic series commentary for Doctor Who Serial 6J Part 2, The King's Demons. Yes, the dramatic and exciting conclusion, as was always intended for Season 20, not at all. The King's Demons, the two-parter, because we'll get into it as we talk about why banter now when we could do it over the actual episode. So here we go. I hope you got your legally purchased Blu-rays, DVDs, VHS copies. Excellent. King's Demons Part 2 in 3, 2, 1, play. So yeah, the original ending of Season 20 was supposed to be a story called The Return, which, as strikes and delays mounted up during the production of Season 20, it says, yeah, we're not going to get this done, so let's punt it to next season, where it became Resurrection of the Daleks. Not directed by Peter Grimwade, because in order to sort of lament about the fact that the story had been canceled, Grimwade took the cast and crew out to supper, but was going to take John Nathan Turner out for a separate supper, but John Nathan Turner took this as a personal slight as not being invited to the main one, and stopped talking to Peter Grimwade for the rest of his life.
This applies to the entirety of the entertainment. I'm reading Disney War, which is all about the 90s and 2000s struggles within Disney, and petty nonsense rules the day, and I'm assuming that's pretty much everywhere.
Yeah.
Academia is nothing but petty nonsense from what I've been told. So
yeah, I feel like J&T was a bit of a petty man at points. Which is too bad, because Peter Grimwade was, pretty skilled director and writer. I mean, Sayward did reach out and got him to write Planet of Fire, which ironically wrote out everything that you see here, the Master.
Yes,
temporarily.
I forgot about Zarefast, by the way.
Yeah, we all try to do that. But anyway. So when we think about
One day, Doctor.
When we think about Shada, the strike shortened season 17, season 20's strike shortened too. We lost the story. We just happened to. I wonder if they had actually planned to have. This is something I don't really hear about, because I wonder how much planning was being done for season 21 at that point to think that, let's drop this story, because then we'll put our Dalek story in. I'm getting the impression that, given that this is a season where they also made the twin dilemma, probably they weren't thinking too far ahead when it came to Doctor Who at that point.
I was just going to say, he should say to the Doctor, one day this very device will turn you into a tiny little CG monstrosity, but not today.
That was a laser screwdriver, wasn't it? I don't know what it was.
It doesn't really matter.
Yeah. This is proper Doctor Who, not your Last of the Time Lords Doctor Who.
Oh, yeah. Boy, which is the better of the two?
Yeah.
Tough call.
Which would you rather watch? King's Demons.
Last Time Lords has some good stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, the King's Demons has Chameleon coming up, so I think you just found your winner.
I guess this game's set and match for me.
Sir Geoffrey is played by an actor called Michael Jackson.
Sir Geoffrey sounds like a name a kid would come up with for a medieval guy.
I'm Sir Geoffrey. But you're Geoffrey, yes. Okay.
Yes, I am.
So that's you then, yes. Okay. I like Davison's reaction there. It's good. And actually Janet Fielding's there. But wait!
What?
Played into his plan. That BBC TV Center floor looks pretty good. That's just a painted floor there, those bricks.
I mean, you make House of the Dragon. Okay, this is not even a fair comparison,
No.
but House of the Dragon spend God knows how much money on to make it medieval. BBC goes, what's in the closet? God, we're good.
Yeah, and it mostly is.
It's not. It doesn't look anywhere near as good, obviously, but it still looks pretty damn good for what it is.
Well, you know what? I mean, the thing is, and it's funny because, you know, in watching even old episodes of TNG, Star Trek TNG, is that even though that's shot on film, single cam, yes. This is multicam, yes. But both are more or less lit the same way because they have to get a lot shot in a short amount of time. And that's why the TNG bridge is so bright because, you know, we don't have time to relight absolutely everything on this set. We need to get some close-ups here, some cutaway shots here, because we got 8 days to shoot this 50-minute episode of TNG.
I mean, that was most of TV.
Yeah.
Like Miami Vice is a revolution because they filmed it and it took forever.
Yeah.
Like a movie. Right?
Yeah.
So at the time.
Whereas, you know, Game of Thrones, you light and shoot. It takes like what? I don't know how long. It took 13 to 14 days to shoot a 50-minute episode of Doctor Who in modern series times. I feel like that has greatly increased in the RTD2 era, but
And how much does House of the Dragon cost? Like, I think it's got to be at least 15 mil per episode.
oh yeah.
Which is insane when you think about it. These are TV shows, for God's sakes.
Yeah. It is nonsense. Well, some shows had to shoot basically do the like Secret Invasion, which is months ago, and this comes out in the main feed. But like they had to shoot a whole bunch of stuff because it skewed a little too closely to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, apparently. So they had to reshoot basically the entire show.
That's why it cost $200 million. And it doesn't look anything like it cost $200 million.
It does not at all. Yeah.
Part of that's the spy thing. The spy things are never going to look super slick, right? So just by the nature of what it is. So.
Anyway, Anthony Ainley here is
Espousing the plot.
being them their master. Yep.
The master of exposition. He should keep that coat for the rest of his.
I know. Whatever. Like I kind of like seeing doctors in different looks, and I like the darker coat on him. To be fair, kind of like when McCoy switches in season 26. I thought it was kind of a good look for him.
It is a better looking coat. I agree.
Yeah.
It gives him an air of seriousness he lacked in the previous. Nothing to do with his clownish behavior either.
No, not at all. If McCoy had hung off the railing at the end of Dragonfire Part 1 wearing a darker coat, I think we'd look at that cliffhanger a lot differently now.
Well, some nerds would. Let's be honest here.
So, other than this and Tooth and Claw, how many times has the Doctor been knighted?
Oh, I think this is it. I mean, Ian gets knighted in the Crusade.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think...
I mean, he marries Elizabeth. It's not quite the same thing.
No, I don't. Well, no, probably
But
not.
he would become a knight for that.
No.
Yeah. Well, historically he would, yeah.
Historically.
I do love how Stephen Moffat just used a throwaway line from whatchamacallit, to End of Time, just works it in. It's something that actually is part of a story.
Which one's that?
Well, the fact that he marries Elizabeth, like he comes out of the TARDIS and says, "Oh, I married Elizabeth." Beep, does the car horn thing on the TARDIS, all that nonsense. It's complete throwaway stuff, and then it's in Day of the Doctor.
Well, it also was end of Shakespeare Code too.
Oh, right, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Still kind of throwaway though. Let's be honest.
it was.
And I guess it is kind of
Different
throwaway Day of the
Elizabeth,
Doctor
though.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as studio lighting goes, this is a pretty well lit
Fair.
scene.
We are tired. I need that as a screen cap.
We are tired. We shall be tired. Mr. Wow. Was that an iambic pentameter? I don't know much about iambic pentameter. 10 syllables, 5 words. I don't know how it goes. What is iambic pentameter?
No idea.
Okay.
I took it in school. I don't remember any of it.
5/4 time. That's what I know.
I wish to report these subtitles to the subtitle police. TARDIS is not capitalized. I am disgusted.
Oh,
by this.
nuts.
Show ruined.
Hmm. Yeah, and sometimes it says whooshing and sometimes it says warping. Warping is obviously the correct word for it. But,
Also, that's a terrible hiding place.
what is?
Their little hiding place they were hiding in just there.
Oh. Hiding in plain sight, like Susan again against the
Doctor
wall.
Who
And Keys of
tradition,
Paradise.
yeah.
Sir Jeffrey. What did Jeffrey do to get knighted? That's what I'd like to know.
Lots of stuff, probably.
Yeah, I love my castle Lego, by the way. I just want to say that once again. Just love it.
He did private favors for the king. That's what he did.
Oh, dear.
Make of that what you will.
Does your Castle Lego have the Magna Carta and an Iron Maiden?
The band, yes. The Carta, no.
You probably do have Iron Maiden minifigs.
Yeah. Bruce Dickinson. He even got like an Elizabethan ruff there, you know, like from like the 1600s. Why, that looks like Elizabeth I, actually. That's how ironic.
Oh, it's all coming together.
Yeah. I don't know. I still don't know much about Magna Carta. You know, usually Doctor Who instructs me and educates me with regards to history, but I'm no closer to knowing what Magna Carta is all about.
Basically, it's one of the first writings downs of laws in England. They make it sound like they were the first ever to do it, and that's probably not true.
Yeah.
But in England, it was one of the first times that they kind of got together and got their heads together and wrote down some laws to follow.
Right. Maybe we shouldn't have this
codified stuff.
Code of conduct.
Codified
Yeah, exactly.
stuff.
Codified. That's a good way to put it.
Basically, HR for the king kind of thing, you know.
Now, medievalists, please correct me on that, because that's my very stupid Cole's Notes version of it. That might very well be inaccurate,
Right.
but that's more or less the gist of it.
I mean, I've listened to podcasts about Magna Carta, and I maybe watched a couple YouTube clips. But what I'd like to see is a YouTube short doc explaining it, but using clips from the King's Demon, so I can fully take it in.
This is the best educational carrier device for you to learn about the Magna Carta, and yet you still don't.
I still don't. I know it's really raining right there. It is so raining on this, but they like look, everyone is soaked. But they're just standing around because why not? I love Mark Strickson.
Poor Turlo doesn't even have a cover.
I know. I love how Strickson plays Turlo. He just sort of stands like at a different angle and everyone else is looking off at it. Like he's always scheming. Even though he doesn't kill the Doctor anymore, he's still just got this weird alien feel to him. It's an underrated performance, is Mark Strickson's.
He feels like a Gen Xer off to the side.
Just a little bit, like a stroppy teenager, yeah. I will help you get on your horse because I have literally nothing else to do in this story. Well, that's all right, Turlo. We got some great stuff cooked up for you. The 20th anniversary. You and Carol Ann Ford get to stand in the TARDIS and look at the TV. Okay, good. That's great.
And you get to draw something we never see, and we all grimace at it.
That's true, yeah. Apparently it's bad, but...
In my fanfic, he's drawing something really filthy. Just really bad stick figures that are obscene, you know.
Uh-huh.
So not even talented.
I'm sure we probably I think Five Doctors was one of our first. There's Turtle's most significant contribution to this smacking a horse on the ass. I'm sure that we probably speculated on what he was drawing on our original commentary for the Five Doctors back, I want to say, episode 92 of this podcast, which we were probably very culturally insensitive. I don't know specifically about what, but just probably were back in 2000.
That's fair.
7 or 8.
I'm not checking to find out.
No, we just probably were. Just take it as read. We didn't know as much then as we do now. I don't even know what we said. I'm apologizing for it though.
That's probably a safe bet.
Yeah.
Things got a little foggy in the studio.
A little bit. Yeah, I know. Is it my DVD copy in there that's being a little foggy?
That looks like the lens had some gunk on it.
Yeah, it's camera 3.
A little bit of Vaseline lens.
A little bit.
Yeah. I don't think it's
Creating
on
a mood.
purpose either.
Yeah.
It's probably like a little bit of air inside the machinery.
Good old tar.
Because that's fine.
Mm-hmm. There's a coat hanger right there, Tegan. Just saying. Right there. That's what it's there for.
Which always bugged me about the 10th Doctor's TARDIS, about how he drapes his coat over that sort of pillar thing. I'm like, no, come on. The hat rack needs to be back.
You can bring back the hanger. You can go to Yisk or something. I don't know. Just buy one. Christopher Villiers, that's his name. The guy who was in Mummy on the Orient Express. Oh, love a dramatic zoom. Good job, Tony Virgo. What did Tony Virgo do with his life after this? I want to find out. Good old Tony Virgo.
Probably married to Sagittarius.
Yeah, I know.
really hope so.
He's the only Doctor Who director with a astrology sign as his last name. We're going to find out about
Here we
him.
go. The big reveal. It's coming.
He cannot be on LinkedIn. Come on. Tony Virgo. Let's have a look here.
I remember thinking, this robot's religious? What the hell's going on here?
We can't say to this because as we record this in August of 2023, whether or not because I know there's a new making of for the King's Demons on the season 20 box set, which we don't have yet, and because there wasn't one originally for this, and I'm wondering if Tony Virgo appears on that, but he went on to direct 73 episodes of EastEnders after this, just so you know.
This shot isn't great, but Chameleon is kind of cool looking. The design.
Poor old Chameleon. I mean, they made a robot, an actual working. That's not a guy in a suit. That's an actual remote control robot. That can,
For real, or is this your usual?
No, actual. Like it's actually that's like an animatronic robot as a thing. Which, its one downfall was that there was only 2 people on Earth who knew how to control him, and one of them sadly died in a boating accident before this was made. And so this is why he was rarely used, because no one knew how to work him. So that's why he turned out the way he was.
Whatever it's worth, Tony Virgo directed some Bill. 8 episodes of All Creatures Great and Small.
Okay.
EastEnders, Crossroads, Emmerdale, Doctor Who, Angels.
Right. Did he do anything else and didn't become a
They produced
producer or something like that?
He produced as well.
Okay.
All Creatures is nothing to cry about.
No. Is that the original All Creatures? Yeah, obviously. He stopped directing in 2001,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, it's IMDb says 88, 89, so well after Peter Davison's involvement.
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been one of the Christmas specials or something.
8 episodes.
Okay, I didn't know it came back.
Yeah. It did. They played until 1990.
Episodes,
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12.
Oh, all right.
When Linda Bellingham
5
replaced
and
Carol
season 6.
Drinkwater, as I will call, as the female lead in that. I don't know anything about the show other than who was in it.
And I just got rid of BritBox. What the hell was I thinking?
Well, I know you had all creatures. Remember we were so excited about All Creatures Great and Small showing up, and then we never
watched like
watched
2
it.
episodes, and then I just
know.
kind of forgot. Oh well.
Yeah. Ooh, it's a showdown. It's a throwdown.
You can't change history. Just ignore me while I change Gallifrey's history.
Apparently, when Sir Geoffrey here dies, you can see that he's laughing. And I've looked closely many times at this because I've watched The King's Demons way more often than anything else than I should watch. And I have not been able to see him laugh. But he dies, apparently.
I laugh at that line, though. You always accusing me without any justification. I'm like, dude, it's the Middle Ages. That's kind of what it's built on.
That's true, yeah. Or 21st century
Their
America.
system of justice is about to be built by the Magna Carta, so maybe you should, keep that in mind.
See, he laughs here, apparently. Apparently he starts giggling. But I can't, I'm just staring at him. Isla Blair apparently is laughing as well. But no, I don't see him. Maybe that'll be really apparent on Blu-ray that you can see that he's laughing, but
Chameleon, you're a British invention.
I wonder what
One guy
happened
knows
to
how
him.
to use you, and you barely work.
Yeah, I wonder what happened to him. The history of the prop, I don't know what you call him. It's prop.
Well, the Chameleon was cut from The Awakening.
I mean, the actual prop, the physical.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
It's not at the it wasn't at the Doctor Who experience. Yeah.
No, certainly not. I wonder what happened to him after that. What happened to the Master's collar after that? Where's Davison's outfit? What happened to anything? What is life?
like to pour one out for the TV experience. Seeing the K1 robot in person is pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. That hasn't shown up anywhere like on a permanent basis, and that's a crime against humanity, I think. We lucked out, Warren. We lucked out.
We sure did.
Getting to see that.
And by sneaking film nonsense into it, too.
Yeah, we really didn't need to sneak around. We were so terrified of getting thrown out. It's like, whatever. Do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, we're not the first, and I guess we were one of the last.
Yeah, we
probably.
were. Yeah, I don't know when it shut down, but it was, I think it was gone by the second time around that I went there. Some good music playing.
Oh, you're Donald Trump then.
Yeah.
Chaos shall reign, I'll be its emperor.
I actually can't remember who did the music for this. I think it's Jonathan Gibbs.
I was poking around some information here, and the Short Trips anthology, Short Trips Life Science.
Okay.
There's a story in there. The Sixth Doctor and Perry found that Chameleon and the TARDIS had a child together.
Oh, come on.
Which they raised.
What?
No.
All right, well, sure.
It developed into a double of Perry and was then left by them on Earth in the real Perry's place while she continued with her adventures with the Doctor.
It's basically just Homer's drinking bird while she goes off and has adventures.
Yep.
Boiling oil. Love it. I don't love it, but I was playing a little Age of Empires 4 last night, and there was some boiling oil being poured from the castle walls, so I thought, oh, that's fitting that I'm watching this now. People used to be boiled in oil. Sometimes it gets splattered while I'm making a stir fry, and I put like some of the tofu in. I got splattered with cooking oil. That hurts enough in and of itself.
This looks like an album cover.
That does kind of, doesn't it? Yeah.
Or a music video at the time. Now, definitely a music video at the time. But I went to school with a guy at Nate who just wouldn't believe that people were as cruel as they were in the Middle Ages. I'm like, dude, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were vicious back then.
Well, I mean, okay, but I remember watching stuff from the Second Gulf War going, oh, we're still doing that, are we?
some of
I'm not
it's
going to say
pretty
what it
bad.
was because it was pretty horrific, but lots of horrific stuff came out of that. And you're like, oh, okay, well, we're no better than we were 1,000 years ago. Great, wonderful. And I'm talking both sides here, not just one.
On both sides. Yeah, there we go. Bringing that classic back.
Well, okay, I'm just saying the Americans were not great either.
Yeah.
So
Boom. Like it just like all of a sudden, boom. And now it's Tegan actually. I want to go.
I love how annoyed with the whole business Turlo
I
is.
know. Medieval misfits. I
And
can't.
they're like, what the hell are you talking about? World War One? What? No, you got 3 minutes to go. Come on.
Yeah. Pour one out here for the last shot of the original console, at least until Two Doctors later on. But
I do love the Five Doctors console.
it's so sterile and samey, but it's perfect in its own way. You know, like
all the banks of buttons.
yeah,
are so cool.
it's it made for easier making of a Lego console. I'll say that much. I didn't have a 6-sided. Mine was 4. Well, it was actually 8 total, but
You had a daypole situation.
yeah, I did a little bit.
Who knows when it'll end? Apparently by having a child with the TARDIS.
That sounds like the kind of canon that Looms devotees are
Yeah,
good
a
for.
little bit, and like Dodo with syphilis, that sort of
The dark dimension and so forth.
yeah.
All these little side corridors that people insist on getting very angry about.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta break it to you guys. It's all make believe.
It's I mean it's what's funny is that they knew the Chameleon was already going to be a disaster because he's not in the Five Doctors. You would think that he would be in the very next story they shot, and he's not.
But I mean, that does look kind of cool.
It right? That's an animatronic robot.
Is there a dolly of Chameleon? Just part of me thinks there is.
I don't know if there is, Warren. And that is obviously one of history's greatest oversights right there, because
I agree.
he is he's a full-size dolly. Look at that creepy thing. It amuses me somewhat, but
Just is staring into space.
yeah, a little bit. His dead yet alive eyes. I love that Toro still has his sword.
No dolly whatsoever.
No, that is a tragic shame.
Otherwise, I'd have the K1 robot and chameleon get married and have a baby.
Well,
which would be a vacuum cleaner of some sort.
Yeah. I think character options should work with the Blu-ray people and like basically put out sets for each and every story with in consort with the Blu-rays coming out. Because then we can have like in an Enlightenment play set and 6 King's Demons, Terminus. Can you imagine having a Garm action dolly? That would have been amazing. Or a Modron one.
A man can dream.
I know. I wanted Ibbotson in the car. I don't want anything else from that. And then I was so like
modern one, you just put a Play-Doh on somebody's head.
That's true, actually. Ergon. Anyway, that's it. That's it for season 20. That's how season 20 ended right then and there. We just saw it. And it failed. And when I was a kid, and the first 2 or 3 times around through the Davison era, they skipped right over 5 Doctors. And I thought, did they ever get to the Eye of Orion? Because I do not know. Because the next one was Warriors of the Deep.
Well,
did you think the sea base was the Eye of Orion?
No, I didn't.
They never got to Blackpool either, so
they didn't either. They didn't, and let me tell you about the end of the Time Meddler going right into the War Machines at that time. Oof, that threw me for a loop too.
Yeah,
it sure did, even though you weren't born.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when it was on YTV, I was thinking, what? Why did they skip over like a whole season of Doctor Who? And then they skipped over like
being on YTV
2 more years of Doctor Who after the War Machines and went right to the Dominators. What the hell's going on? Oh,
I remember Dave Yadley being so mad about that on Records Doctor Who. It was great.
How could they not just recreate these episodes, for God's sake? Well, there we go. That is officially 2 of the 3 subpar historical 2-parters in the books, because we've done Black Orchid many, many years ago. We've now done the King's Demons. I don't think we've done The Awakening. I guessed that off the top of my head, But Chris, you've
subpar duology.
Yeah, you've got the randomizer open.
The Awakening is on the list. We have not yet
Still
done
there. Oh. Still there. It's still on the board, so we could get it, which is very exciting, I think. Personally, I think it's very exciting that we potentially do that. But
I mean, there's
why are you even doing this when you could be saving this banter for when we spin the thing? Yeah, so let's.
There are 91 options currently remaining on
91
on here.
Storage for years. Okay, well, Chris, start spinning it, the randomizer, and now there we go.
It's going.
91.
So that means we have, technically, we have a little more than a 1% chance of hitting the Awakening.
I like those
or
odds.
Anything else, but or anything else.
So we on this crazy randomizer, because we haven't included. It's weird how we've included some stuff on there and some, but like we haven't done like Flux isn't on there, whatever. We have like some Series 10 stuff on there for some reason. I think there might even be a Series 2 thing.
Series 2.
And then all the rest of Classic Who. So that's our weirdly compiled miniscope.
We have 68 classic stories remaining on the
all right
on the list here.
I like the classic ones, but let's see what we get here. Stop.
Terror of the Autons.
Oh,
okay. All right.
Dipping back to 1971. How about that?
Well, the introduction of the Master.
Whoa.
That's true.
And of Joe Grant and of Captain Yates.
Joe Grant and Bet we can.
Yeah. We'll wait a while. I enjoy
the story.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. All right. That'll be on the next one. Classic series commentary. Thanks for listening to this and all of our episodes. Until next time, I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.